Right now at 5, at least 7 people are wounded in Wichita, Kansas after a weekend shooting.
And we've got ourselves a pretty decent start for our morning, but it is going to be hot and muggy once again today with some increasing storm chances. We'll take a look at that full forecast coming up.
And Joplin police arrest a man after its SWAT team surrounds a home.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So it's not a bad start to the morning so far. It's nice outside, pretty pleasant evening last night. But the hot weather is going to continue at least over the course of the next 2 or 3 days before we see a little bit of a cool down. And ahead of that cool down, though, we also have increasing storm chances across the area. So let's head down the road. And as we head into this evening or this afternoon and this evening rather, we will start to see a few more scattered thunderstorm chances across the area. And again, these are going to be isolated to widely scattered at best across the region. And then we'll see them again through the overnight hours before we see another pause. And then for our 4th of July, and a lot of people are wondering about that, we are looking at the possibility of a few more of these scattered thunderstorms, and a couple of those could be strong, maybe low-grade severe. But the good news is they're anticipated to be out of here before it's time to set off any of those fireworks. So that's some great news. And then we head into our Wednesday, and it's something we're watching closely as we head into Wednesday afternoon. Here we are at 3 o'clock. You see this possible line of thunderstorms moving through the area, and this could be strong to severe thunderstorms. So today, again, just a few scattered thunderstorms. We have that low end risk tomorrow for the areas highlighted in green, and then as you can see, the elevated risk, yeah, it encompasses the entire area as we head into Wednesday. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. Right now, though, we got mostly clear skies, 70 degrees in Joplin, a little bit on the muggy side out there. And as we look at temperatures around the area, we got 65 Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, Parsons, 67 Chanute, 68 Miami, and 71 in Neosho. As we get our morning started, we'll be partly to mostly cloudy. We'll have increasing cloud cover through the morning, mid-80s by 11. Highs today, low to mid-90s across the area. Mostly cloudy skies. Again, a stray shower or two possible. And we'll see a couple more chances for some showers, maybe some thunderstorms as we head into the evening and overnight hours. Back down into the upper 60s for our overnight lows. And we've got those thunderstorm chances again tomorrow and then again on Wednesday, but these again should be out. It does say PM because we're talking PM after 12 p.m., but should be done before it's time for fireworks. But it's going to be a hot one ahead of that, mid-90s. And then take a look at this. We actually cool down. A few more scattered thunderstorm chances heading into the end of the week, but temperatures drop into the 80s at least for a few days. So a little relief from the heat out there. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. A rollover crash just south of Neosho over the weekend totals a pickup truck. Authorities say the crash happened just before 5 Sunday night on Route 8 HH, just south of Route TT in Newton County. The pickup traveling south on Route HH left the roadway to the right. It struck a culvert and rolled numerous times, ejecting the driver. Authorities say the impact blew all of the windows out. The adult male driver was transported to a local hospital where he is expected to survive. A federal grand jury charges a Fort Leonard Wood staff sergeant with the killing of a 2-year-old. The 2-count indictment was unsealed and made public following the arrest of 40-year-old Kevin Long and his initial court appearance. Paperwork alleges Long physically assaulted a 2-year-old child identified in court documents as Jane Doe as part of a pattern and practice of assault against a child. Long killed Jane Doe, the indictment says, by blunt force injuries and the perpetration of child abuse. Long remains in federal custody in Greene County Jail pending a detention hearing on July 6, 2023. Elk City, Kansas woman was killed after being hit by an emergency vehicle. It happened on Saturday night just before 10 o'clock on Franklin Street south of Sycamore Street. Authorities say the emergency vehicle was responding to a medical call with its emergency lights activated. They say it then made a wide turn and hit 72-year-old Victoria Eddington, who was sitting in a chair on the west side of Franklin Street. Eddington was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver and passenger of the emergency vehicle were not injured. At least 7 people were wounded in a Kansas nightclub shooting. Police in Wichita say the shooting happened in the Old Town Entertainment District late Saturday night. Authorities also say 2 people were hurt from being trampled as crowds of people tried to leave the scene, and there were no fatalities. One person who police say is believed to be one of the shooters has been detained.
We have to come together as a community and talk with our young people in particular about how resorting to gun violence is not the way to resolve a problem or an issue. We're too great of a city to allow us to continue with this bump in gun violence that we have seen.
One person who police say is believed to be one of the shooters has been detained. Joplin police arrest a man after SWAT surround a home. It happened around 10:50 Saturday morning at the 2100 block of South Sargent. Officers responded to a call about a disturbance at the home, and when they arrived, they noticed the disturbance happening in the yard. A man went into the home and would not come out. SWAT was then called in and was eventually able to get the man to leave, and he was arrested. Police say a firearm was involved in the disturbance. The victim of the disturbance received minor injuries.
So he is in custody, no injuries, on the way to the city jail right now. Detectives are kind of sorting everything out, but he is in custody for assault and other charges to be determined involving the firearm.
Formal charges against the suspect are still pending. We've warned you about the heat, and with these dangerous temps, the inside of a car can turn into a deadly environment in just minutes. And one thing to keep in mind is a child's body heat can heat up to 3 to 5 times faster than that of an adult. So they're quite a bit more susceptible to that heat than parents may realize. Experts say a child's body really only needs to reach about 107 degrees before it becomes fatal. In recent years, the number of deaths in hot cars has increased from an average of 40 deaths a year to more than 50 deaths every year.
There's a lot of different things that 911 is going to be trained to walk us through and make sure that we're moving quickly and efficiently, but also that we're not missing important or vital steps that might end up putting the child in danger.
Spain says in recent years, the number of deaths in hot cars has increased from an average of 40 deaths a year to more than 50 deaths. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, it's time for the MoKan Baseball Showdown. We'll have all the details in sports. Plus, a woman is now scared to sleep at night, all due to her Facebook account being hacked and used for scams. And despite several ongoing lawsuits, the Biden administration pushes price negotiations forward for Medicare. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
How about you?
Well, on Sunday, the American Legion Baseball Tournament MoKan Showdown wrapped up their final games over the weekend. Teams from all over Southeast Kansas faced teams in Missouri. The state with the most wins at the end of the tournament will have bragging rights. Pittsburgh's Post 64 Patriots facing Lee's Summit out of Post 189. We're going to pick things up in the bottom of the 5th. Pittsburgh down 2-0 until Quentin Fears launches this ball out to the North Georgia street. I'll see you later. It's a solo home run. Pittsburgh only down by 1. Now we'll go to the top of the 6th. Starting pitcher Jonah Sparks gets the big strikeout there. He keeps his team in the game. Now we're going to head to the bottom of the 7th. Got that same score of 2-1. Trevor Hamershek, clutch piece of hitting there. He keeps it fair down the line. Tucker Akins races home. Pittsburgh ties the game off the RBI double, 2-2. So we head to extra innings now. Go to the top of the 8th. Lee's Summit, Dom Metcalf puts down the suicide squeeze bunt. Lee's Summit will take the lead. Pittsburgh down 3-2. Unfortunately, had a major injury in the game after 2 players in the outfield collided, and they option not to continue to play on. So final score of the game, Lee's Summit beats Pittsburgh 5-2. According to a parent in the stand, sounds like that young man out there is going to be just fine. So in the next game, Iola Post 15 taking on Oak Grove Post 379. Bottom of the 1st, Iola down 1-0. So Sam Hull pulls this ball down the line, bounces off of the wall. 2 runs are going to come in to score. Iola takes the lead up 2-1. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd now. Same score. Brandon McCarnan gives this ball a ride to right field. It'll hit the wall. McCarnan is going to slide in at third base for an RBI triple. Iola leads 3-1. Later in the inning, Caden Barnett squeaks this ball through the left to left field. That's an RBI single. McCarnan scores. And all over the highlights, Iola goes up 4-1. Iola does not slow down on that scoring. They go on to win this game 11-1 over Oak Grove. Well, Joplin Outlaws come into Sunday night meeting the Nevada Griffins once again this year. The Outlaws on a 3-game winning streak. Meanwhile, Nevada has yet to lose to Joplin this season. So in Nevada, the Outlaws look to keep the hot streak going. Joplin's offense, as of recently, doesn't seem like it's slowing down anytime soon. And in this one, Joplin wins 13-0. With this win, the Outlaws are now in first place in the Mink League South. Joplin picks up their first win of the year against Nevada. Also, Colton Howerton picks up 5 RBIs for Joplin. Well, still to come, Bolivia claims to have created the world's largest pork soup. Well, more on that in World Watch. Plus, get another check of that forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:16 now on this Monday morning. And we've got some scattered thunderstorm chances. We also still have some hot weather. So let's talk all about that. As we head through the afternoon today, we could see a couple of isolated thunderstorms, maybe a few scattered thunderstorms. At least with today's activity, right now we're not anticipating anything strong or severe. And we could see a few more scattered thunderstorms as we go into the overnight hours and into tomorrow morning. Now for the 4th. I don't want this map to deceive you. At least right now, we're looking at the possibility of a few more scattered showers and thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon. Some of these could be strong, low-grade severe, but the good news is as we head after sunset and time to set off fireworks, nothing on that map. So that's actually looking pretty good for our 4th of July evening. Now, what we do have, though, on Wednesday is a couple of scenarios in terms of timing, but we're looking at the possibility of some strong to severe thunderstorms. Right now, this is looking at about maybe 3 o'clock. You see this line of thunderstorms rolling through the area. Here it is at about 5, and then once it rolls on through, we'll get on the back end of those showers and thunderstorms and clear out. But again, there's that chance for some strong, maybe severe thunderstorms out there on Wednesday. So today, again, just some scattered thunderstorm chances out there. Here's where that low end risk is right now for some strong storms as we head into our Tuesday. And then you can see the elevated risk covers the entire area as we head into our Wednesday. All right, quick look at our temperatures, rather. It's 70 degrees in Joplin. It is a bit on the muggy side, and that's going to continue through today. We got 72 Lamar, 65 in Pittsburgh Parsons, 67 in Chanute, 68 Miami, and 71 in Neosho. We get our morning started. We'll have increasing clouds, and we'll go into the mid-80s by late morning. And as we head into the afternoon, we're looking at temperatures low to mid-90s, mostly cloudy skies. Again, a few stray storms possible. As we head down the road, we stay hot through about Wednesday, and then once that system rolls through, even though it's not cold by any means, we do cool back pretty decently into the 80s with some scattered thunderstorm chances holding on through this Saturday. Well, a Texas woman says hackers recently got access to her Facebook account and are posting items they say the woman has for sale. She's had people knocking at her door trying to buy the stuff, even though she's not selling anything. Devin Clark says she's become distraught over this hack attack.
I'm at a loss.
Monique Sherman says she hasn't been able to sleep in 2 weeks.
I'm feared for myself, and I'm also upset for other people.
It all started when she was locked out of her Instagram and Facebook accounts.
And I was online actually posting, and then it flickered, and then it asked me to put in password. I was like, okay, put in my password, it wouldn't work.
She says what came next was even more unexpected.
I kept on getting activity to my phone, saying I'm selling this, selling that, 73 things, and I'm like...
73 things?
Mm-hmm. Chicken coops. Chicken coops, all kind of stuff.
But Sherman says it was this fake ad selling a couch she'd never even seen before that brought people to her front door looking for the furniture they'd already paid someone else for.
I go out there, and he was like, yeah, I'm here to pick up a couch. 2 guys.
So far, she knows of 3 people showing up to her house. They had messages sent from her account.
So this is someone actually pretending to be you, saying if you're really interested, you can make a deposit to get the post down ASAP.
The messages also include a picture of her ID she thinks the hackers were able to access from the cloud.
That's what really scared me.
Sherman says she's so scared of would-be buyers showing up at her home that she put the fake post on her door along with the police report she filled out, hoping to deter them. She says she's also in the process of installing a brand new home surveillance system.
They made a post. People were tagging me and saying, oh yeah, we're gonna get her.
She says she was able to get that post taken down by reaching out to the user through a different page she has advertising her art. But with the fake couch ad still up, she's preparing for more restless nights.
And then this is the map of my address.
Like Sherman, we tried reaching out to Meta, the company that owns Facebook, and got no response. The app does offer advice for keeping your account safe. That includes making sure you have a unique and private password, activating two-factor authentication, and login alerts. But after this,
right here, my age, my birthday.
Sherman says she's taking a break from social media altogether.
That brings us to our question for you this morning. Have you ever had your social media account hacked? Yes or no? Or perhaps you don't use social media. Well, we want to hear from you. Make sure you take time to vote through our website at koamnewsnow.com/vote. You can also do so in our app and take part in the discussion on our Facebook page. We'll be back with Health Watch right after this.
Tapping Health Watch this morning with the opioid epidemic raging across the country. A new program is aiming to help treat opioid addiction by bringing treatment options right to those in need, especially in underserved communities. Gino Vici has more from Detroit.
I think it has a huge potential.
Dr. Sherry Eliz is heading up a new pilot program recently approved by the DEA and the state of Michigan that could have a huge impact on opioid abuse disorder treatment options for underserved communities.
A lot of our clients are those that have no access to treatment facilities.
Dr. Eliz is talking about this fleet of custom-built specialty buses designed to target underserved communities like homeless shelters, nursing homes, correctional facilities, and neighborhoods with little to no options. The mobile units are scheduled to be rolled out in just a few weeks and will provide full treatment services.
So some of these buses will be for group therapies. Some of these buses will be registration. Some of these buses will be for counselors and doctors, and the other buses will be for methadone dispensing.
Naveed Syed is the CEO of Quality Behavioral Health in Detroit. He's operated this center for nearly 3 decades and says these mobile units are exactly what the community needs to help fight the opioid epidemic.
A lot of people are losing their lives and killing themselves by overdosing.
CDC numbers show that overdose deaths have been rising, with 110,000 just last year. 2/3 of those overdoses involve a synthetic blend of opioids like fentanyl.
So this is a time where we want to help, and I'm really happy that I can do something.
Advocates are optimistic about the good this program will do for the community. I'm Gino Vici, CBS News, Detroit.
In Michigan, where the mobile unit is launching, opioids overdose deaths have grown tenfold since 2000. Well, the Biden administration is moving forward with plans for Medicare to negotiate directly with drug makers. Despite several lawsuits, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, or CMS, released new guidance for the program, including how the agency will select the first set of medications. CMS will announce the first 10 drugs selected for negotiation by September 1st. And then Medicare and drug makers will begin negotiations. The agreed upon prices will be effective in 2026. Well, it's been a dangerous summer so far in parts of the Gulf Coast where rip currents have claimed the lives of nearly a dozen people in 2 weeks. As warnings go out to beachgoers about the hazardous water conditions, experts say knowing what to do in this dangerous situation could save your life. Mandy Gaither has more with an ocean expert on how to escape a rip current.
Waves don't have to be large, and weather doesn't have to be bad for a dangerous rip current to form.
They can reach speeds of about an Olympic swimmer. So, even if you are a very good swimmer, they could still cause you potential problems.
In the U.S., from 2013 to 2023, rip currents were the third leading cause of weather-related deaths, killing 71 people every year on average. That's more deadly than lightning, tornadoes, or hurricanes.
Because, they don't pull you under the water. That's kind of a common misconception. People think they kind of suck you under the water, but they don't. they just pull you away from shore.
If you're in the water and feel like you're getting farther away from the beach, experts say the first thing to do is not panic.
I know that sounds counterintuitive. People want to try to get back to shore, but you want to just relax and float.
Don't try to swim against the current. That may only lead to exhaustion. Instead, swim parallel to the beach until the ocean doesn't feel like it's got a pull on you. Then swim back to the shore at an angle, letting the waves push you back in.
Some people might not be strong swimmers or you might get tired and feel like you can't keep swimming. So if you can just float, stay on the surface of the water and look back to shore and call and wave for help, that'll give a chance for public safety personnel to come rescue you.
National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says the #1 thing you can do to stay safe at the beach is to swim near a lifeguard. And if that's not possible, be prepared. Look up rip current forecasts, which are issued across the coastal U.S. to see if there is a potential for rip currents to form at the beach you're planning to visit. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Yeah, we've got ourselves another hot one across the 4 states today, but we're seeing increasing thunderstorm chances over the next several days. Take another look at that forecast coming up.
Right now at 5:30 with the 4th of July almost here, we'll see how the Lake of the Ozarks gears up for a busy and hot holiday.
And we've got ourselves another hot day across the 4 states. We also have increasing storm chances. We'll tell you how that'll impact the 4th of July coming up.
And the Quapaw Nation holds its 151st annual powwow over the weekend.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 5:31. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So it's not a bad start for us out there for our Monday morning. However, it's going to be another hot one. Hot temperatures will continue and then they'll stop, at least briefly, but not before we get some thunderstorm chances. So let's take a look at those thunderstorm chances. Now, as we head into the afternoon, we could see an isolated pop-up storm or two across the area. And as we head into this evening, we'll see a few more of those scattered thunderstorms, and those will continue even into the overnight hours. And then for our Tuesday, for the 4th of July, we're looking to be pretty hot. We're looking to be pretty humid. As we head into the afternoon and early evening, we could see some scattered showers and thunderstorms out there. But the good news is, by the time you should be out there setting off those fireworks, should be clear and calm. And that's going to change significantly on Wednesday as well, as we've got a system coming in. There's a couple of different models on the timing of this, but this one that we're going with right now shows that in the afternoon hours, right about 3 o'clock, you can see this band of showers and thunderstorms rolling through the area, and not doing so in a rapid fashion by any means. Still got some shower activity by 8, but some of that could be strong, possibly severe. Now today we're just looking at isolated thunderstorm chances, or at least scattered storms out there. Tomorrow we do have a low-end risk for a stray strong storm or two with some of tomorrow's activity. And then Wednesday, take a look at that. We haven't seen this on this map here recently. The entire area, at least right now, in an elevated risk for strong to severe thunderstorms. So that's something we'll keep an eye on for you as we get a little closer to Wednesday. Right now, though, a few clouds out there. Otherwise, not bad. 70. Muggy, though, with a higher dew point and humidity. And it'll remain that way through today. Out to the west, a little cooler. 63 Fort Scott, 64 Iola, 65 Neodesha. And as you head further to the east, we get a few warm spots. 70 Lamar, Carthage, 66 Neosho, and 67 in Miami. As we get our day started, we'll be partly cloudy and we'll see increasing cloud cover. Temperatures mid-80s by late morning, and heading into the afternoon, we've got those mostly cloudy skies and temperatures heading into the mid-90s out there. So again, a hot one and a few isolated storms. Scattered storm chances continue, mid-90s tomorrow all the way through Saturday, but look at this, temperatures at least briefly cooling back, if you could say, into the 80s by the end of the week.
All right, thanks, Chris. The Lake of the Ozarks is gearing up for a busy, hot 4th of July. Marina Silver talked to some people and marina workers about what you need to know before hitting the water.
Good. I feel really prepared for the weekend.
Adam Morris is the manager here at Pirates Point and Sunrise Beach. His family owns the marina. He and other workers are trying to stay cool.
It's good to be able to get out of the heat a little bit or jump in the lake and cool off.
Morris says, as with any holiday, there's going to be a lot of people on the water.
There's obviously a lot more traffic out, so there's going to be rougher water conditions. So you need to be aware of the conditions and try not to have people moving around or walking around on the boat.
Lake Ozark police are expecting the same increase in traffic on land.
We will be down at the Strip at our local establishments down there, and hopefully everybody has a great time and behaves themselves.
And this dry, hot weather isn't helping.
So we're asking people, we do have an ordinance in the city that fireworks are not permitted, and I know that some local agencies have been canceling their fireworks because of how dry it's been and how hot. So we want to be mindful that we're following the ordinance.
AAA is expecting higher gas prices on land this year, and Morris says they are definitely seeing that on the water too. Here, regular unleaded gas is $3.99.
Gas prices are a little bit higher this year than they have been in years past, but it's still not too bad. We have had higher several years ago.
But no matter what, everyone wants visitors and locals to stay safe.
We've inflated more bumpers or buoys to protect the boats that pull into our dock and keep them from possibly damaging their boat in the rougher water conditions.
The Quapaw Nation celebrates its 151st annual powwow this weekend. A part of that celebration was the creation and discovery of the Quapaw ancestry. And those who were curious got the chance to sit down and look back on their own heritage, now making new discoveries and cementing history for themselves and the Quapaw Nation.
So I've traveled all over the United States and various places around Quapaw and in Oklahoma and Arkansas, Missouri and Kansas and whatever, and I've been to all the archives in Dallas and Washington, D.C. and collecting information.
As people, as our tribe, as well as other indigenous nations, as they, move away and spread out even further, to be able to provide that linkage and that history back to who they came from, it strengthens those bonds so that they know they always came from home.
The Quapaw powwow will continue through the 4th of July and has events for all ages throughout the weekend. Galena Boat and Ski Club put together its own 4th of July celebration as well, ripe with games, family, friends, and of course, fireworks, a celebration that club members say brings out the best in people.
It's all family. Right. It's all family oriented.
Yeah.
Everything. We do everything for kids and our families.
Boat and Ski Club will have more events throughout the year. If you're interested in attending, you can follow them on Facebook. Fort Scott is putting on its 4th of July celebration starting over the weekend. All events are open to the public, which include guided tours, artillery shooting, and special events happening on the 4th.
For me, it's about sharing the stories of our nation's heritage, helping people to connect to that heritage, and helping people to appreciate that heritage and to appreciate the freedoms that we've gained and not make mistakes in the past so we won't lose those freedoms.
If you'd like to attend the events at Fort Scott, their hours are 8:30 to 4:30. All events are free. Keltoy Winery threw its own 4th of July celebration yesterday. The winery in Jasper County is celebrating 25 years of business and has created a fun red, white, and blue slushie, especially for this time of year.
It's really great, and people are looking for something to do on a holiday like this, and we are kid friendly, we're pet friendly, because you see around here dogs and some cats and the kids and everything, and they get out here and they can walk around the property. A little hot today, but we have a park there in back. A lot of folks like to go down there and make a little pilgrimage to go and kiss the Blarney Stone.
The winery is also supporting a 5-week campaign to raise funds for Folds of Honor. Those who donate will have their names displayed at the winery. This morning, we're discussing social media being hacked and used for scams.
Yeah, Monique Sherman says she hasn't been able to sleep in 2 weeks. And it all started when she was locked out of her Instagram and Facebook accounts. She says what came next was even more unexpected. Her hacked account started listing ads, 73 of them.
Wow, but Sherman says it was a fake ad selling a couch she'd never even seen before that brought people to her front door looking for the furniture. They'd already paid someone else for it. So far, she knows of 3 people showing up to her house. They had messages sent from her account.
That brings us to our question for you this morning. Have you ever had your social media hacked? So far, 50% of you say that you have, and 25% of you say you haven't. Another 25% of you say that you don't have social media. It might be the wiser course in some cases, but yeah, that's a scary situation for sure. So make sure you take time to vote through our website, through our app, and take part in the discussion on our Facebook page.
I don't really understand why all these people paid for the couch sight unseen. Like, they'd already paid for the item and then they went to pick it up.
Yeah, unfortunately, people fall for those scams. So not only was her account hacked and being used for scams, people were falling for them too.
Yeah, there were a lot of other people that were scammed in this process. So just be aware.
Absolutely.
If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, a video rental store that's been a staple of a community since the 1980s closes its doors.
Plus, new research calls into question gender roles in the prehistoric era. We'll have the latest.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch, it looks like no one at this next event walked away hungry. Nearly 4,000 people in Bolivia chowed down on what was being claimed as the world's largest pork soup. The dish, known as fricassee, was made up of over 1,000 pounds of pork, over 120 pounds of yellow chili peppers, and 22 pounds of red chili pepper. The event in La Paz took place ahead of the celebrations of the country's 214th anniversary of revolution. It's also an attempt to make it into the Guinness World Records as the world's largest pork soup. Well, new research is calling into question assumed gender roles of ancient humans. Prehistoric men were believed to be hunters, while women were believed to be gatherers. But there's evidence women hunted too. A study was launched after a discovery in 2020 when a 9,000-year-old female skeleton was found in the Andes Mountains. She was buried with tools for hunting and dressing large game, leading the archaeologist on site to assume the skeleton was a man's. But DNA testing found it was actually a woman's. Researchers then combed the last 100 years of records and found more evidence of prehistoric women hunters. All right. Well, glamorous symbols of the 20th century nightlife are returning to Cuba more than 60 years after they started to fade. Patrick Altman reports from Havana.
Throwing a party with 20 musicians for a neon sign may seem like overkill, but repairing and relighting this pre-revolution ice cream shop storefront has been a long time coming. Before Fidel Castro took power, Havana was a sea of neon. After his 1959 revolution, the government seized all private businesses, and as replacement parts became scarce, the signs began to go dark.
Cuba was an early adopter of neon. It rivaled Paris and New York in terms of the amount of neon.
Enter Adolfo Nadal. He co-founded a small band of mostly U.S. and Cuban neon enthusiasts who've made it their unlikely mission to rescue as many of the signs as possible.
It helps you see the city in a new way. It brings back a lot of the memory of the city. People remember these signs from the 30s and the 40s in Havana as well.
For the artisans who search out and repair the signs, it's a labor of love that can take months. It depends on the complexity of the metal structure, if it's in good condition, she says. If we have to make new parts, it depends on the availability of the raw materials. Unfortunately, none of these items you can find in this country, and they have to be imported. Repairing Havana's neon signs can seem like a quixotic pursuit in a city where aging buildings collapse every day, and even when they are restored, the signs often stay dark during the regular power cuts here. The sign restorationists say that fixing up the sign is just the beginning of a transformation. The people are more likely to walk down a well-lit street, less likely to throw trash on the ground, and that what they're hoping to give Cubans is not just a restored sign, but a little bit of hope as well. Nudal says the signs are his small gift to the homeland he left at a young age.
I'm Cuban American. I wanted to come back and make a contribution to my country, and I'm a neon guy, so I figured that neon would be a wonderful thing to do, and it goes in keeping with the history of Havana.
His team's dream, as they slowly bring the lights back, is that the neon signs are not just part of the city's past, but also its future. Patrick Ottman, CNN Havana.
Love me some neon. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Now 5:49 on this Monday morning. Goodness, this is what happens when you stay up too late. We got possible scattered thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon and even the evening and overnight hours tonight. Not anticipating anything significant with that, but we could see a couple of storms out there. Now for our 4th of July, we could see some scattered showers and thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon and even the early evening, and a couple of those could be strong, low-grade severe. But the good news is, regardless, they should be out of here in time for us to set off some fireworks and celebrate our independence. Now, Wednesday, however, is a different story. We've been watching this for a few days, and there's that possibility of some strong to severe thunderstorms as we head into Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening across the area. Now, the one nice thing about these showers and thunderstorms is once they roll through, our temperatures will begin to fall back. So for today, we're looking at just isolated to scattered thunderstorms. We've got that low wind risk highlighted in the green for a couple of stronger storms, and then on Wednesday, the entire area under an elevated risk for some strong, possibly severe thunderstorms. So something we're going to keep a close eye on for you out there. We're sitting at 70 in Joplin right now, and we're starting to see the sun come up out there, looking like a pretty decent day, but it's going to be a hot one. Got 67 Chanute, 65 Pittsburgh, 69 Chetopa, 67 Miami, and 66 in Neosho. Now, as we get our morning started, we are looking at temperatures into the mid-80s, partly to mostly cloudy skies. They'll continue to increase heading into the afternoon. Temperatures today, low to mid-90s. Tomorrow, ahead of the storms, mid-90s. Isolated thunderstorm chances all the way through Saturday, but look at this. Temperatures, they're not cold, but they're better as they drop back into the 80s. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
To get registered.
A longtime video store is closing its doors. David Porter has more on the story.
I came in as an employee of Video Universe right after they opened. There you go. And then I ended up taking over the store a few years after that, and I've been running it ever since 1986.
I just love old movies. I could spend hours in here.
People have been coming in for decades, seeing their kids grow up. A lot of people I haven't seen for 10, 15, maybe 20 years, but they'll stop in and say goodbye.
Grab whatever the strangest movies I can find. Sometimes
These are the strangest?
kind of the best part is seeing a movie blind and then just kind of being amazed by like, oh, hey, look, this has a weird cover, but you know, this turned out to be something extremely awesome and underrated to share with a friend.
There are many, many discs back here. It's kind of it's a system, sort of like a library, as I've kind of figured that out in the last 2 weeks. So I've kind of been pulling different titles, mostly kind of running his social media. Yeah, a little bit of emotional support as my dad's laughing back there.
And stuff gets removed from streaming services all the time, so I'm always trying to find little rare gems and things like that.
When you get something like maybe Eat My Dust, there's a lot of VHS right now that's really popular. Certain genres, VHS horror, the foreign ones are pretty popular.
I went to school for film, so when I needed a film to write a paper about, it's like, hey Dad, can you bring this obscure film so that I can watch it and write a paper on?
Because I have so many VHS tapes.
But you don't have these ones.
5.
Get them.
Through the last couple of years especially, there's been so many movies already that people have been asking for that I don't have access to. You have to stream them, and that's where it just seems to be heading. It's, you know, it's a changing world. I don't know.
You knew. He's been here since, the 1980s. This is what he does.
Oh, there it is.
As he's closing and selling his inventory, he's kind of like losing little bits and pieces of his collection.
You can just have that. It's just kind of epic sadness, I think, to see it come to an end. You just never quite think that the final day is going to be there.
It's definitely been an adventure.
He's probably going to buy all of this.
And it is a little sad to watch it close. but we're kind of excited for the next chapter as well.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Alrighty. I just would, like to thank all the customers that have come in through the years. They're not going to melt in there.
No? Okay.
It's been a long, amazing run.
That's the way we're headed. We'll be right back.
Let's go places.
Well, this was no kangaroos. Police in Kansas say an injured kangaroo was captured by authorities after the wayward animal was spotted wandering along a highway. Now, authorities say the young kangaroo escaped from an exotic animal business. The Edwardsville Police Department, that's close to Kansas City, shared photos of the capture, with one photo even showing the kangaroo behind bars, though police made clear he was treated by a veterinarian during his stint in custody. After asking the public for help to locate its owners, police say they were able to locate them, and he's now back home.
We got ourselves another hot day today. We'll have increasing clouds as we go through the morning. Temperatures into the mid-80s. We head into this afternoon, mostly cloudy, maybe a scattered storm or two out there. Temperatures around the mid-90s. And as we head into this evening, overnight lows, upper 60s, mostly cloudy. Could see a couple additional scattered showers and thunderstorms out there. For our 4th of July, hot mid-90s. Evening thunderstorms, and by evening I really mean afternoon, early evening. Some of these could be strong to severe, so we'll keep an eye on that for you, but they should be, I'm sorry, that's Wednesday we have the severe threat. Tuesday though, we could see a couple of stronger storms, should be gone in time for the fireworks time on the 4th. A couple of strong severe thunderstorms possible Wednesday, cooler as we close out the week. Temperatures back in the 80s with some additional scattered storm chances. We'll be right back.
Come meet.
Right now at 6, authorities arrest a staff sergeant stationed at Fort Leonard Wood with the killing of a 2-year-old child.
And we've got ourselves a pretty pleasant start to our Monday morning. However, it's going to be hot again, and we have increasing thunderstorm chances this week. Talk about that in the forecast coming up.
Also in a celebration over 150 years in the making, the KOAM Nation kicks off its annual powwow with events and history lessons for all ages.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So it's just after 6, Monday morning. We got the holiday tomorrow. We've got thunderstorm chances, and it does unfortunately include the 4th. But I have, at least for right now, you know how things can change, but right now I have some good news for the 4th. So let's talk about our thunderstorm chances. We head to this afternoon and into the evening and overnight. We could see a couple of isolated, maybe some widely scattered thunderstorms out there. We're not anticipating anything strong or severe today, which is good news. Now for our Tuesday, we could see a couple of stronger storms out there, but we're not anticipating that to be widespread. However, don't let this freak you out. Take a look at the time. This is 3 o'clock Tuesday. Now, I know you're going to be planning afternoon activities for the 4th, but you need to be prepared for some scattered thunderstorms through the afternoon and early evening hours. But the good news is, by the time it's time to set off some fireworks, that should be out of here, and we should be left with mostly clear skies as we head into the evening and overnight. Then things change on Wednesday. Take a look at this, 3 o'clock Wednesday. Here's a line of showers and thunderstorms. A couple of different scenarios on this, but one way or another, we're looking at the possibility of some strong to severe thunderstorms as we head through Wednesday afternoon and into the evening hours. So what does that look like on our severe risk map? Well, today it looks like general thunderstorms. Tomorrow, here's where that low end risk is for a stronger storm or two. But this is Wednesday, the entire area in an elevated risk for strong to severe thunderstorms. So it's something we're going to keep an eye on for you. All right, quick look outside. Look at that sunrise. Looks beautiful out there. It is a bit muggy. Humidity's at 81%, but otherwise temperature's not bad, sitting at 69. Temperatures around the region not bad either. 67 Nevada, 64 Fort Scott, 65 Pittsburgh Parsons, 67 Miami, and circling back 66 in the Osho. As we get our morning started, clouds will begin to increase as we head into the late morning, and of course so do the temperatures as we go into the mid-80s by 11. We'll have another full look at your forecast and just how hot it's going to be for the 4th here in a few more minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. The federal grand jury charges a Fort Leonard Wood staff sergeant with the killing of a 2-year-old. The 2-count indictment was unsealed and made public following the arrest of 40-year-old Kevin Long and his initial court appearance. Paperwork alleges Long physically assaulted a 2-year-old child, identified in court documents as Jane Doe, as part of a pattern and practice of assault against a child. Long killed Jane Doe, the indictment says, by blunt force injuries in the perpetration of child abuse. Long remains in federal custody in Greene County Jail pending a detention hearing on July 6th. Joplin police arrest a man after a SWAT team surrounds a home. It happened around 10:50 Saturday morning at the 2100 block of South Sargent. Officers responded to a call about a disturbance at the home. When they arrived, they noticed the disturbance happening in the yard. A man went into the home and would not come out. Authorities called in the SWAT team and they were able to get the man to leave. Police say a firearm was involved in the disturbance. The victim of the disturbance received minor injuries. Authorities arrested the man.
So he is in custody, no injuries, on the way to the city jail right now. Detectives are kind of sorting everything out, but he is in custody for assault and other charges to be determined involving the firearm.
Formal charges against the suspect are pending. Record number of travelers on this holiday weekend, even as severe weather threatens large swaths of the country. Christian Benavides reports.
4th of July celebrations are well underway this holiday weekend, following days of travel chaos across the country at our nation's airports. Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg unfaced the nation.
If you look at the overall picture, we've seen a lot of improvements, but we had a hard few days with severe weather at the beginning of the week, and that definitely put enormous pressure on the system.
Pent-up demand and the extra long holiday weekend, leading to a record number of travelers on Friday, surpassing numbers seen even before the pandemic.
Friday, we saw, according to TSA, a record number of airline passengers, probably the most ever in America.
But the threat of severe weather has not gone away. Parts of Missouri were left cleaning up after storms ripped through the area, as heavy rain continues to move across the middle of the country today. And across the Southwest, punishing heat has upped the risk of heat stroke in Texas, Arizona, Nevada, and California, where over 30 cities are on the brink of breaking temperature records. Austin and Fort Worth hit triple digits every day this week, adding to a spike in emergency room visits. Animals feeling the heat too. These squirrels in Austin trying to cool off their body temperatures by laying their bellies on a cooler surface, something experts call splooting. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
And parts of the Northeast are also still monitoring that hazy air leading to unhealthy air quality from the wildfires in Canada. And severe heat is expected to continue throughout parts of the country through the 4th of July. Well, don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone, free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. It's called the KOAM Skywatch weather app. The Quapaw Nation celebrates its 151st annual powwow over the weekend. Part of that celebration centers on the creation and discovery of Quapaw ancestry. And those curious enough got the chance to sit down and look back on their heritage, making new discoveries and cementing history for themselves and the Quapaw Nation.
So I've traveled all over the United States and various places around Quapaw and in Oklahoma and Arkansas, Missouri and Kansas and whatever. And I've been to all the archives in Dallas and Washington, D.C. and collecting information.
As people, as our tribe, as well as other indigenous nations, as they, move away and spread out even further, to be able to provide that linkage and that history back to who they came from, it strengthens those bonds so that they know they always came from home.
Quapaw Powwow will continue through the 4th of July and has events for all ages. Fort Scott fires off its 4th of July celebrations over the weekend. All events are open to the public, which include guided tours, artillery shooting, and special events happening on the 4th.
For me, it's about sharing the stories of our nation's heritage, helping people to connect to that heritage, and helping people to appreciate that heritage and to appreciate the freedoms that we've gained and not make mistakes in the past so we won't lose those freedoms.
If you'd like to attend the events at Fort Scott, the hours are 8:30 to 4:30 and all events are free. Keltoy Winery threw its own 4th of July celebration. The winery in Jasper County is celebrating 25 years of business and has created a fun red, white, and blue slushie, especially for this time of year.
It's really great, and people are looking for something to do on a holiday like this, and we are kid friendly, we're pet friendly, because you see around here dogs and some cats and the kids and everything, and they get out here and they can walk around the property. Little hot today, but we have a park there in back. A lot of folks like to go down there and make a little pilgrimage to go and kiss the Blarney Stone.
The winery is also supporting a 5-week campaign to raise funds for Folds of Honor. Those who donate will have their names displayed at the winery. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, get ready to make your holiday go red, white, and boom with the help of Lori Horton and a unique take on cupcakes and ice cream cones. Plus, Black women have a higher risk of death from pregnancy-related complications. We're going to hear from the Vice President on her plan for addressing this dangerous disparity in healthcare. And Chris returns with another look at your forecast and what the 4 states can expect tomorrow when it lights off its annual Independence Day celebration. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on this Monday morning, 6:11, almost 6:12 out there. We've got some scattered thunderstorm chances over the next few days. We'll start with today, where you could see a few scattered, maybe even isolated thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon, evening, and even into the overnight hours. And then we'll head into our Tuesday for the 4th of July. We could see a couple of stronger storms. We'll show you where that risk is. And that will happen as we head into the afternoon as we start to get a few more scattered thunderstorms across the area. Now, the good news is they should be gone in time to set off fireworks. The bad news is if you have afternoon barbecue plans or get-togethers with family, friends, you're going to want to make sure that you are prepared to move them indoors if you need to with those thunderstorm chances in the afternoon. Then we go into our Wednesday and the story changes a bit as we get this complex of thunderstorms by the afternoon. This is one scenario. Another shows that these may be more scattered. They'll be numerous, but they'll be a bit scattered instead of a line. But one way or the other, thunderstorms for our Wednesday through the afternoon into the evening hours across the area, not exiting until after sunset. And some of these could be strong to severe as well. So let's take a look at that. All right, for today, we just have those scattered thunderstorm chances across the area. Then we've got a lower end risk for some stronger storms in the green highlighted areas. And then take a look at Wednesday, the entire area highlighted for an elevated risk of strong to severe thunderstorms. So it's something that we will keep an eye on here for you. Got a beautiful sunrise out there so far, sitting at 69 in Joplin, but muggy, that humidity up there at 81%. Temperatures around the region, they look like this: 64 Fort Scott, Iola, 65 Neodesha and Parsons, Pittsburgh, 67 Miami, 66 Neosho, and 70 in Lamar and Carthage. As we get our morning started, we are going to have partly cloudy skies initially. We'll see increasing cloud cover heading into the late morning, mid-80s, and it will be mostly cloudy for the majority of today. And again, with those isolated to scattered thunderstorm chances, otherwise hot. We're looking low to mid-90s for our highs today. As we head into the evening, we'll see a few more of those scattered thunderstorm chances across the area and overnight as well. And we'll go back into the upper 60s across the region. And then let's look ahead. So we talked about the storm chances on the 4th, at least right now. You know how Mother Nature is, things can change, but right now they should be out of here in time to set off some fireworks. And ahead of that, though, it's going to be hot and it's going to be muggy as we're looking to get into the mid, maybe even upper 90s for some of us on our 4th of July. Our Wednesday, a little bit cooler as we go into the low 90s. And then we've got these scattered thunderstorm chances. We know we need that rain, and we'll take it any way we can get it. And they continue all the way into Saturday. But this is what I like. After this system rolls through on Wednesday, I know it's not cold weather, but it's a lot better than where we have been as we go back into the 80s heading into this weekend. And then the warm temperatures will begin to return slightly. But as you can see, we're still staying upper 80s, low 90s as we head into the next work week. Well, those partly cloudy skies Sunday, maybe some evening thunderstorm chances on Monday of next week. And then partly cloudy skies as we head into the middle of next week. And then, of course, take a look at the lows heading up to through the hotter weather. Of course, our lows are a little bit warmer, but lows stay in the mid-60s and maybe even some upper 60s out there as we head into the weekend and next week. But again, Tomorrow, a couple of strong storms possible. Keep an eye on that for you. And Wednesday, a little more of a widespread severe thunderstorm risk, so we'll keep an eye on that as well for you over the next few days. We'll be back with more right after this.
Sign up today for the Rich Brewer Memorial Golf Scramble July 15th.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. We've got Lori Horton back in studio this morning, and we've got a special treat for you. Red, white, and boom cupcake cones.
Yes, we are getting all ready for the 4th of July. So
Yeah.
kind of a neat recipe. Not anything out of the ordinary here, but we're just going to make it kind of in that red, white, and blue. Make something you guys can do really fun for the kids, get everybody involved, something for the cookouts this week. So
okay,
we are starting with just a regular cake mix, but we want it to be a light color. So it needs to be like white, vanilla, French vanilla, something, because we're going to add some food coloring to it.
Okay.
So it's got to start out pretty white. Other than that, we're going to just follow the instructions on the box, which is going to have some eggs, some water, some oil. Standard fare there. Again, you can use a box cake mix. Ooh, my bowl's about not quite big enough.
That's going to be a challenge.
That's a dangerous proposition. We're going to improvise. But we're going to do it just according to the directions, so it's just going to depend on what you use. If you want to use a scratch cake recipe, that's fine too. Just do that according to about what you would do in like a 9x13 pan.
Okay. So once we get that mixed up, and this is something that you can always do with your kids too.
Absolutely. It's nothing that's going to require a lot of heavy duty materials, nothing out of the ordinary as far as your equipment. You can stir this up with a whisk. You don't have to use the big mixer, get out anything major. You don't have to heat the kitchen up for a really long time. We want to watch that.
Is it important to get like it really finely mixed, this type of recipe?
Yes, so we want to make sure it is thoroughly mixed. So I'm going to switch over to my whisk here and just get all of those lumps out of it.
Okay.
Make sure that that is really incorporated. Get all of the eggs, of course, mixed in there, but we just want to make sure that it's good and to go because we're going to add that food coloring to it. We don't want any patches left behind of anything that's not mixed in. I'd recommend a slightly larger bowl than this.
So I'm very impressed. You have not got any, knock on wood, you haven't got anything spilled out yet.
Not yet, but don't jinx it. I don't have a good record with that. So when we get this all mixed up, all we're going to do is separate it into 3 bowls. We're only adding color to 2 because this will be our white, but we just want to kind of make sure we've got an even amount of each color. So,
do you recommend different types of food coloring or just whatever you can get at the store?
I'm going to be a little bit snooty on this one.
Okay.
You want to use good colors. This is not where you pull out those Easter egg colors.
Easter eggs. Okay,
no.
Well, this is why I asked. Yeah.
This is your pro tip. So you want to use a paste or a gel color. These are going to come in little jars or in containers like this, and it's going to be really thick. So it's going to almost look like jelly.
Okay.
And that's going to make sure
More
you don't add very
color.
much
Well,
liquid.
because you have options when
You
you're
have
looking in the
options.
baking aisle. Like,
That's right.
Yeah.
You
And of course,
do.
I'm sure you sell them too.
I do. So when we get this all mixed up, we're going to separate that out. When we come back, I'm going to talk a little bit about the colors so that we get a really good true red and blue on that, because those are tough ones.
All right. Be sure to stick with us on KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back. Topping Health Watch this morning, scientists in England have learned how ticks can quickly latch on to hosts. They're pulled like a magnet through static electricity. These findings explain how the creepy, crawly critters that can't jump can so easily attach themselves to legs or arms centimeters away and deliver a bite that may carry Lyme disease. The work could help lead to anti-static repellents to cut down on the risk of ticks. Well, a new study of nearly 750,000 teens across North America and Europe finds more are underestimating their body weight, and it could complicate the fight against obesity. Research published in Child and Adolescent Obesity also found fewer teens are overestimating their weight. And they say incorrect weight perception can lead to unhealthy choices in diet and exercise habits. And HIIT cardio, that's high intensive interval training, could help patients better recover from surgery. A study published in JAMA Network Open found that people who did HIIT cardio before a major surgical procedure had significantly fewer post-operative complications than those on a standard care plan. They say body tissue and inflammation require oxygen to heal, and improved cardiorespiratory fitness can help deliver that oxygen to the body. CDC says Black women are more likely to die from pregnancy-related complication. Tanya Bacchus sat down with Vice President Kamala Harris to discuss racial disparities in healthcare and her plan to address the crises.
According to the CDC, the maternal mortality rate in 2021 was 89% higher than the rate in 2018. Nationwide, Black women are 3 times more likely to die during pregnancy than white women. These numbers and lives lost have drawn the attention of the White House. In our exclusive interview, Vice President Kamala Harris said addressing the issue of maternal mortality is one of her priorities.
The United States, being one of the richest countries in the world, has one of the highest rates of maternal mortality. It's a healthcare crisis in America happening right before our eyes, and I felt the need to take it on in a substantial way. These stories should compel all of us to take on this crisis.
Since becoming vice president, Kamala Harris hosted the first ever Maternal Day of Action at the White House and recently toured the baby-to-baby distribution headquarters in Los Angeles, dedicated to providing supplies and resources to mothers in need.
When you look at the statistics, they are staggering.
Yeah.
Why are Black women in particular dying at that rate?
Well, one reality of it that may be hard for some people to hear is because she's Black. When she walks into that clinic, that doctor's office, that hospital, she is not taken as seriously. Another reality of this issue is that it has nothing to do with her socioeconomic level or her educational level. It literally has to do with the color of her skin and the biases that are present in the system.
Let's look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Yeah, we've got ourselves not a bad start for our Monday morning, but we'll have increasing clouds and increasing shower and thunderstorm chances as we head into this week, and that does include the 4th of July. We'll talk about that forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Day from 11 to 1.
Right now at 6:30, gunfire erupts over the weekend as a nightclub shooting in Wichita wounds at least 7 people.
And we've got ourselves a pretty decent start to our Monday morning across the area, but thunderstorm chances increasing this week. Take a look at that forecast coming up.
States has felt its share of triple-digit temperatures over the last week, but those same temperatures can turn a car into a dangerous situation for young children.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 6:29. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So it's not too bad out there this morning. Got a few clouds, temperature's not bad, humidity's up there, but a pretty decent start for us this Monday. But we still have some hot days to get through before we start to see some relief from this heat. And we've got the thunderstorm chances. So let's talk about today. So we head into the afternoon, could see a few pop-up thunderstorms, maybe even a few scattered thunderstorms across the area. And those will be, again, isolated to scattered through the evening and into the overnight hours. Then we'll go into the 4th of July. We do have the possibility of some showers and thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon hours. So unfortunately, if you're planning any outdoor events, gatherings with friends, family, you're going to want to make sure you've got a backup plan to move indoors if you need to as you head into the afternoon and early evening hours. However, once we get past sunset and time to set off those fireworks, we're going to be mostly clear as we head into the evening on the 4th of July. Then Wednesday is the day we're really watching. As we head in the afternoon, could see some scattered thunderstorms out there, and these could be strong, possibly severe, as they roll through the area through the afternoon hours and even into the evening hours on our Wednesday. So what does that look like on the severe threat map? Well, today, there you can see just general thunderstorm chances there. Tomorrow, we do have a low-end risk for a strong storm or two in the dark green area, but take a look at Wednesday. The entire region under an elevated risk for strong to severe thunderstorms. So something that we will be keeping an eye on for you. We're at 69 in Joplin. Beautiful sunrise out there, but that humidity is going to be what kills you today. 81%, so a little bit on the muggy side. Around the area, temperatures aren't bad. It's 65, Fort Scott, Iola, Yates Center, Chanute, Neodesha, Parsons and Pittsburgh, as well as Chetopa. 66, Miami, Neosho, Monette, and 69 in Carthage. As we get our morning started, clouds will increase. We'll go mostly cloudy by late morning, mid-80s, and then we head into the afternoon and get a couple of pop-up thunderstorms possible. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, hot, low to mid-90s out there, and we head into this evening. A few more of those scattered showers and thunderstorms heading through the evening and into the overnight hours. We'll be into the upper 60s. And as we head into the 4th of July, we talked about the thunderstorm chances, but that's the other thing. It's going to be hot and muggy, mid-90s out there. We're low 90s for Wednesday, and then check this out. After Wednesday's system, yeah, we still got some scattered storm chances heading into the weekend, but those temperatures much more comfortable as they drop back through the 80s. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. A Kansas nightclub shooting wounds at least 7 people over the weekend. Police in Wichita say the shooting happened in the Old Town District Entertainment District. Authorities also say 2 people were hurt from being trampled as crowds of people tried to leave the scene. There were no fatalities.
We have to come together as a community and talk with our young people in particular about how resorting to gun violence is not the way to resolve a problem or an issue. We're too great of a city to allow us to continue with this bump in gun violence that we have seen.
One person who police say is believed to be one of the shooters has been detained. Well, the 4 states has seen some oppressive heat this past week, and with these temperatures, the inside of a car can turn deadly in just a matter of minutes. For 3 times, body heat can heat up to 3 times faster than that. Danger can arrive even quicker. Experts say a child's body really only needs to reach about 107 degrees before it becomes fatal.
There's a lot of different things that 911 is going to be trained to walk us through and make sure that we're moving quickly and efficiently, but also that we're not missing important or vital steps that might end up putting the child in danger.
Spain says in recent years, the number of deaths in hot cars has increased from an average of 40 deaths a year to more than 50 deaths a year. Elk City, Kansas woman dies after an emergency vehicle strikes her. It happened on Franklin Street south of Sycamore Street. Authorities say the emergency vehicle was responding to a medical call with its emergency lights activated. They say it then made a wide turn and hit 72-year-old Victoria Eddington, who was sitting on a chair on the west side of Franklin Street. Eddington was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver and passenger of the emergency vehicle were not injured. And a rollover crash just south of Neosho over the weekend totals a pickup truck. Authorities say the crash happened just before 5 Sunday night on Route HH, just south of Route TT in Newton County. The pickup traveling south on Route HH left the roadway to the right. It struck a culvert and rolled numerous times, ejecting the driver. Authorities say the impact blew all of the windows out. The adult male driver was transported to a local hospital where he is expected to survive. Chanute holds a block party to light up the start of its 4th of July weekend. The party was filled with vendors and entertainment for all ages. People also lined the street to take a massive photo of all those who attended the party, which required the use of a fire truck to make sure everyone was in the shot. It was a heavenly sound at a Joplin church over the weekend. The Joplin Area Organist Association hosted its 4th annual hymn festival. The event allowed local organ players to show off their skills and gave the audience a chance to sing some favorite hymns. The audience also learned more about the instrument and the many sounds it produces. And the Galena Boat and Ski Club put together its own 4th of July celebration full of games, family, friends, and of course, fireworks, a celebration that club members say brings out the best in people.
This place right here, it's cyclical the way things go, because I've had my kids grew up here. Now one of my kids is a director and the other one is a member, has been here for 5 years. He's been here for 15. They grow up here.
The Boat and Ski Club will have more events throughout the year. If you're interested in attending, you can follow them on Facebook. Well, this morning we're discussing surviving a social media hack.
Yeah, Monique Sherman says hackers recently acquired access to her Facebook account and have begun posting items they say that she has for sale. She's had people knocking at her door trying to buy the stuff, even though Monique says she's not really selling anything. It all started when she was locked out of her Instagram and Facebook accounts.
What came next was even more unexpected. She says her hacked account started listing ads, 73 of them. And Sherman says it was a fake ad selling a couch she'd never even seen before, brought people to her front door looking for the furniture they'd already paid for. They'd already paid someone else for. And while she continues to wrestle with removing fake ads on her accounts, Sherman says She's decided to take a break from social media altogether.
That brings us to our question for you this morning. Have you ever had your social media account hacked? So far, 42% of you say that you have. Nope, just changed. 33% of you now say that you have. Got even numbers across the board. Now, see, this is what happens. I think somebody's like messing with me now. Either way, a good number of you say you have. A lot of you say you have not, and there's a fair number of you that say you don't even have social media. So that's probably the safest way to go. I had mine hacked very briefly. They didn't do anything with it because I caught it pretty quickly, but that's been several years ago.
A couple years ago, I had mine hacked, and they spent as much as they could on the card that was connected to that until it maxed out. About $750 worth of fake ads.
I don't have any cards attached to my social media, so that's the smart way to go. Well, make sure you take time to vote through our website, through our app, and take part in the discussion on our Facebook page.
All right, that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, saving some money celebrating the holiday.
Americans are getting ready to celebrate the 4th with fireworks and plenty of food. I'm Danya Backus with a look at the grocery items that can help you save this year.
Plus, we've got a nice start today, or this morning, but it's going to be hot again with thunderstorm chances. We'll take a look at that forecast when we come back.
Give us a try before you buy.
In Consumer Watch this morning, United Airlines hopes for better travel days for its passengers and to avoid a repeat of the cancellations and delays it experienced last week. United CEO Scott Kirby says the airline is working with the FAA and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg to make improvements. Bad weather in the Northeast, coupled with FAA staffing shortages, and led to hundreds of flights canceled or delayed, especially at Newark International Airport. And the United Airlines CEO made news again for apologizing for taking a private jet while those passengers were stranded by a wave of cancellations. CEO Scott Kirby chartered a plane from New Jersey to Colorado last Wednesday when more than 8,000 U.S. flights were delayed or canceled. Scott now says that was the wrong decision and admits it was insensitive to customers. California's so-called bacon law took effect Saturday, setting new standards for pork production. It requires that breeding hogs be kept out of cages that can prevent standing or turning. Grocery stores have another 6 months to make sure their products comply with the law, which pork farmers claim could increase prices. Bed Bath & Beyond will live on even after bankruptcy. E-commerce website Overstock.com announced it will rebrand as Bed Bath & Beyond after buying the brand's intellectual property last week. But the $21 million deal will not keep physical stores from closing, and the company says the new Bed Bath & Beyond will not be accepting those expired coupons. And there will be plenty of parties and outdoor gatherings this 4th of July. Last year, inflation sent food prices skyrocketing. As Danya Backus tells us, many items are higher again this year, but some staples are actually down.
Handy Market in Burbank, California is seeing a rush of Independence Day shoppers.
It's the usual, the best of the meats. Everyone's barbecuing.
But many 4th of July favorites are pricier. According to the American Farm Bureau Federation, hamburger buns are up 17% from a year ago, and ground beef is 4% higher. Potato salad will also cost 5% more. However, prices for some grocery items are falling. Chicken breast has dropped 9%, potato chips are 4% lower, and lemonade is down double digits. Alcohol is going to cost a little more. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says beer and hard seltzer is up about 6% from last year. And scooping up that ice cream will cost about 9% more. But there are ways to save on much of your shopping list if you shop smart.
Look for ads. People are going to try to get you into the store with different bargains. And while you're there, make sure that you don't fill up your cart with what's not on sale. Maybe visit a couple supermarkets to really take advantage of that competition that's starting to come back into the market.
This couple is willing to hunt for deals.
I find myself store hopping because I know certain stores are a little cheaper
for one item.
A tip to help you get the most bang for your buck this 4th of July. Danya Backus, CBS News, Burbank, California.
That's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at the forecast.
Yeah, we got ourselves a great start for us on this Monday morning, and unfortunately, though, it's still going to get hot as we head into the afternoon, and we're watching the possibility of some scattered thunderstorm chances as well, and that does include the 4th of July. We'll take a look at that full forecast here in just a couple more minutes, and we're going to get our holiday off to an early start with celebrating some birthdays and anniversaries. They're coming up after the break. But before we get to any of that, why don't we take a trip to the East Coast and see what these folks are doing for CBS Mornings.
I'm Nate Burleson. Coming up on CBS Mornings, we'll go behind the scenes of NPR's Tiny Desk concert series and see how a Washington, D.C. office space is bringing out the best in music. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
Sonic.
Welcome back. Time for some Monday birthdays here in the 4 states. We're going to begin with Mavis McCready, celebrating birthday number 4. It says, Nana and Papa love you.
And we've got Jacob Tatum turning 15 years old in Joplin.
And over in Reeds, we've got Elizabeth Malvin celebrating number 18. Happy birthday, Elizabeth.
Ben Hutto celebrating the big 3-3. 33 years old for Ben in Columbus.
And Adam Ballou celebrating number 43 over in Fort Scott. Happy birthday, Adam.
All right. Peggy Yeager celebrating number 76 this year. Looking good there, Peggy. Happy birthday from Pat, Lisa, and her fur baby, Wendy.
And our list goes on with Robert No celebrating in Farlington, Kansas. Happy birthday, Robert.
And Pete Wells in Columbus. Happy birthday to you.
And down south in Neosho, we've got Bill Punch celebrating number 67. Happy birthday, Bill.
All right, and Colton Cleland turning 14 years old this year in Arma.
And we've also got Mike Brown celebrating another year wiser. And just so happens it's Mike and Renee Brown's anniversary. So happy birthday, Mike, and happy anniversary to you and your wife. Now, here's a problem with this list. There were more of these celebrations without pictures than with pictures. And what we say last week, we want pictures of Spider-Man. I mean of birthdays and anniversaries. Tanya, where do they need to send them?
Well, they can send them to us at birthdays with an S at KOAMnewsnow.com. You can send anniversary information and the picture information. Don't forget those photos. Don't forget the S on birthdays either.
And it's all right if you send us photos of Spider-Man too, I suppose. And of course, make sure you take time to sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club. You know why you should do that? Well, because you get special deals from local businesses. You also get a special birthday message from your friends here at KOAM. So make sure you head over to KOAMnewsnow.com. Sign up for that birthday club today. All right, we're going to break down the forecast. We're going to do so in a very intricate manner here, all right? Let's head to noon today. We're hot. We're partly cloudy to mostly cloudy. Clouds will increase. And then we'll see the possibility of some isolated to scattered thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon, the evening, and even into the overnight hours tonight. Then we'll go into the 4th of July. 4th of July. That's the one day this week that most people are paying attention to. We could have a few morning showers out there, especially in southeast Kansas. And then as we head into the afternoon and early evening, I want to emphasize early evening, we could see some scattered thunderstorms across the area. So this is Tuesday, 3 o'clock. As you can see, quite a few of these scattered thunderstorms possible. So there's some good news and some bad news for tomorrow's forecast. The good news is coming up in just a second. The bad news is these thunderstorms, if you have afternoon plans, barbecuing, anything like that that's outdoors with friends, family, or just yourself, you need to make sure you've got a place to move inside or at least into a shelter in case these thunderstorms, you get caught underneath these as we head into the afternoon and early evening. Now, I'm sure you folks at home are ready for the good news. And here comes the good news. Take a look at 6. You see, these are much more scattered out there than they were earlier. And as we go into the evening hours, when it's time to light off those fireworks, those showers and thunderstorms should be out of here, and we should be left with mostly clear skies. So that's the good news right there, is we are looking at great weather for setting off fireworks. It's just if you're celebrating ahead, it's going to be touch and go out there. Wednesday, however, Watching the possibility of a complex of thunderstorms rolling through the area as we head through the afternoon and even into the evening hours on our Wednesday. Here we are at 8, still on the trailing edge of some of those showers and thunderstorms. Now for Wednesday, though, these storms could be strong, possibly severe, so it's something that we are going to have to keep an eye on out there. All right, for today, just general thunderstorms. That's what's expected. We're not anticipating any strong or severe storms today. We had that low wind risk highlighted for tomorrow for some stronger storms, at least a couple of them. And then take a look at Wednesday. We have not seen anything like this year. The entire region is highlighted yellow, which is an elevated risk for some strong to severe thunderstorms. So it is something that we'll definitely be keeping an eye on. Take a look at this sunset, Look, I got about 3 hours of sleep, okay? We wanted to celebrate some 4th of July stuff last night, and now I'm very tired, and I apologize. This is a sunrise. And it looks great, and we're not bad. 69 in Joplin, that humidity up there, though, at 81%. Temperatures around the area, they look about like this. 66 Nevada, 64 in Fort Scott. Lots of 65s in southeast Kansas. Yates Center, Neodesha, Chanute, Parsons, Independence, Chautauqua, and Pittsburgh. 66 Miami, Neosho, Monette, and 69 in Carthage. And as we get our morning started, we're going to have increasing cloud cover as we go through the morning hours. We'll be into the mid-80s by late morning ahead of those possible scattered showers and thunderstorms later this afternoon. We'll take another full look at your forecast and the week ahead when we come back. And coming up when the KOAM Morning News switches over to Fox 14, we're taking you into a high-tech fireworks celebration just in time for the holiday. If you're a fan of fireworks, but just not the crowds, the heat, the noise, well, you get the idea. Then VR technology might be just the thing for you. And a company out of Oklahoma City has a virtual way for people to experience the spectacle of fireworks without the drawbacks. We're taking you in for a closer look at this virtual 4th of July celebration when the KOAM Morning News transitions over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m.
A four-state hero.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The Quapaw Nation celebrates its 151st annual powwow over the weekend. Part of that celebration was the creation and discovery of Quapaw ancestry. And those who were curious got the chance to sit down and look back on their heritage, making new discoveries and cementing history for themselves and the Quapaw Nation. Well, Chanute held a block party on Saturday to fire off the 4th of July weekend. The party was filled with vendors and entertainment for all ages. People also lined the street to take a big photo of all those who attended, requiring the use of a fire truck to make sure everyone was in frame. Fort Scott lights up its 4th of July celebrations this weekend. All events are open to the public, which include guided tours, artillery shooting, and special events happening on the 4th. And the Galena Boat and Ski Club put together its own 4th of July celebration, ripe with games, family, friends, and of course, fireworks, a celebration that club members say brings out the best in people. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And that forecast you need to know as you head out the door. We are hot today, mostly cloudy, a few scattered showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms possible. Temperatures low to mid 90s as we head into this evening. A few more scattered showers and thunderstorms possible into the overnight hours as well. Temperatures back to the upper 60s. 4th of July. Some thunderstorms possible in the afternoon, early evening hours, clearing out in time for fireworks, hot mid 90s. And then we are watching that possibility of some strong to severe thunderstorms as we head into Wednesday afternoon and evening that we'll be keeping an eye on for you.
Well, coming up today at noon, we're making fruity watermelon pops in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
I can get behind this. I love watermelon. And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. And if you're looking for a good summer read, best-selling author Emma Rosenblum is live in studio. Talk about her first novel, Bad Summer People, which has been called a delicious thriller. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
Delicious, like those watermelon pops.
That's what I was just thinking.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. And this morning, Kavanaugh Studevin from the Carl Junction Chamber of Commerce is stopping by to tell us all about this month's second Tuesday in the Park celebration.
Plus, Lori Horton returning to put the finishing touches on her red, white, and boom cupcake cones. So make sure you come back for that.
And I understand we have an animal in the studio.
It's not nice to insult Gabe like that. That's going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning to help you celebrate the holiday.
And we're going to do it again today at noon.